Today we're gonna do a chimps run showcasing a tower that I don't think anybody really uses, and that is the Deadly Spike. That's the tier 4 bottom path of the Spike Factory. Nobody uses this because it's usually just used as a stepping stone to the almighty perma-spike. But today I'm kind of curious to see if a strategy around it can work, basically involving the same thing you would do with perma-spike, as in just slowing and stalling the balloons as much as possible so that the spike army in the back has enough to build up. Basically, it's going to be a Spike Factory at home strategy, but before that, let me just figure out how to beat round 6 of Dark Path. I think I did a little bit of testing, and one Boomerang 000 actually gets you through round 6. Trust me. Basically, you just gotta keep this thing on last for, like, until all the blues basically come out. I'd say, now, they switch first. And if we did it right, we should get all the balloons just like that. Beautiful. And then we'll just do a sniper up here. I want to do a boomerang start just so no tower gets wasted. I can turn this into a mob press later on, which is another one of those support towers that is good with perma-spike. Or sorry, I should actually say Deadly Spike, since that's what we're doing today. And the hero of choice is going to be Geraldo. As much as I hate to keep using this guy, trust me, it's the best hero by far when we need to use a Deadly Spike strategy. I'll explain why in a second. I think after Geraldo, I can finally save up for the 1080 to at least build a Spike Factory in the back. So let's see, pretty clean strategy so far. 002 Boomerang goes hard. And that wasn't difficult whatsoever, so we'll get the party started. And I'll see again when I can be a little bit greedy and go for our first discount village. Because we're going to be getting, again, mostly low tiers. So a discount village is always worth, and the earlier you get it, the more money you save. You know I'm all for buying things on sale. Now, I'm going to actually waste money on a bigger radius here, just because I don't want to place it too close to the track. Because I'm going to be lining up this entire bottom left side with it, and I guess the other side too, but there's less space over here, so I'm going to prioritize this space first. Now, the thing is, also with Deadly Spike, the better crosspath, I believe, if you get buffs, which we're almost certainly going to do, is 024. But that's rough for early game because, one, it's more expensive than a 104, and it actually, I think, is less damage, because bigger specs basically doubles your output of the Spike Factory. 024, I believe, does not do double your speed. So if we're talking about unbuffs, then yes, it's basically worse in all aspects. That's why, as soon as I can, I am going to go for an Alchemist buff, even on a weak spec like this. Maybe in that case, I probably shouldn't have gone so greedy with the, like, $3,000 in the village, because I think I'm dead if I am this greedy. Okay, I guess the way out of this, then, is maybe 012 to start, and then Glaives as well. And that shouldn't be enough to barely hold the line for now, alright. Do I have enough money this round to get an out buff? Nice, that's gonna be huge. Again, basically more than double damage on Spike Factory because it already does 1 base damage with its spikes, with the Berserker Brew giving another +1, and Pierce 2. Well, do the math, and it all makes sense. So the reason why Deadly Spike is so garbage is because its base stats are, well, also garbage. It's basically a 2 damage 000 Spike Factory that lasts longer. Just to put that into perspective, and since the base spike has 5 Pierce, yes, you get 10 damage every single time this $8,000 tower shoots out, which is not good whatsoever. But here's the thing with buffs. Say we get a stronger stim, which is a +1 damage and 3 Pierce, I believe. Let's just do 022 now. If you do the math then that's a 3 damage spike with 8 Pierce. So that just went from 10 to 24 damage, just like that. And if you talk about the mob damage, then with the AMD, that's another +1, so 4 times 8, 32. Again, this is all just simple math to show you how efficient, like, just getting a single out buff on these Spike Factories is. It's almost, like, crucial to have it if, you know, wanted to hold any power whatsoever. Now, I should have bought Long Life Spike ahead of time, because it would, of course, carry over 1 round. And you see with Deadly Spike here, it lasts 2 rounds, but I'm not going to rely on, ideally, like, the between rounds too much. Let's just see if this can tank all the rainbows here. I guess in that case, there's no point really getting long life. We have built up, like, what, 4 spikes or so before round 40? Let's see if we somehow not have enough. That would mean this spike has to tank 500 RB, but I don't think it can. I'm not going to use Geraldo items because I don't feel like it. That was pretty close, though. But here's the problem with Deadly Spike that perma-spike doesn't have. You see when I retry last round, all the spikes are gone. It's been a thing for at least like 4 years now where it only saves the perma-spike because it's oh so more important than the, well, deadly spike, I guess. But yeah, that still just makes no sense at all. I just bought 1 sharpening stone, and you saw that made a difference, even without the spikes at the end of the round. Isn't that nutty? And that's what I'm talking about when I'm saying Geraldo is the best hero to combo with this spike, because his sharpening stone is a +1 pierce, and on 5 pierce, that's pretty good. Well, pretty big of a difference. And of course, that +1 nerf to the sharpening stone, it doesn't affect it anymore. Or at least not as bad, because it's now 2 pierce, which Spike Factory loves to have. I'm not a Pierce fan, but I am a Pierce fan when it comes to Spike Factories, that's for sure. Let's just get our first Deadly Spike nice and started over here. And I don't think we should have any problem in the mid-game, because that's what I presume these things are fairly good at. After all, they are in the correct price range to supposedly be useful around this time. But it's kind of nice that, like, literally, we only have that as damage. I don't really count this too much, although it has helped a lot. Save a lot of spikes. But if you've seen me do 2 million pops challenges, where I basically super buff a tower so that it gets most of the pops in a chips run, this is going to be pretty similar, although spread across a bunch of towers. By that I mean, we're gonna get the main stuff such as Glue Storm as well, for +2 damage on all balloons. And I think what would be a really smart idea, and maybe I'll just drop right now, is let's do an ice tower over here. And I'm going to buy 1, 2, 3, and then 4 upgrades for Embrittlement. This is OP because what Embrittlement does is it gives you +1 damage to all balloons that it hits for, I believe it's 2 seconds or so. And because it's right next to Spike Factory, these Spike Factories will essentially do an extra 1 damage. And this thing allows you to pop any type of balloon. So there shouldn't be a problem with this thing not hitting Frozen, because we don't have 2, 0, 4. So how does that plan sound? Now our spikes are essentially doing 5 damage to Moabs. And that's why you saw right there, literal annihilation of the Moab, just the moment it hits. I'll also do a normal, just so like the Moab pops earlier, so the ice can freeze the cerams, thus saving even more spikes. Let's just do faster throwing on this Alchemist. We'll do another Alchemist as well. Basically a ratio of, I don't know, 2.5 Spike Factories for every 401 Alch. Maybe more though, because again, AMD is very important, aka this green looking dart on this side. Because once you get to late game, there are only Moabs. Moabs, Moabs, and Moabs. And Ceramics too, which AMD is basically +1 damage to all those balloons. So we probably want that. So to see if our out buff ratio is correct, we should be looking at basically all the Spike Factories to see if there's at least the green AMD and the out buff on all times. I see a lack of mixed dips. And I see for the most part that they all constantly have out buff on them. If they don't have out buff on them, just throw them in the garbage because they're useless. But yeah, right now it's looking like I'll probably have to add like just a couple 2-2-0s around the Spike Factory army. Just not too many of them, just enough to keep it active. Because it only lasts for 10 shots every time it throws on a spike. That's why it's far from permanent on all these guys right now. Alright, this round's gonna be spicy. Can Deadly Spikes handle a grouped Ceram Wave? One that Embrittlement, like, missed a lot of. Answer seems to be yes. Although I'm not gonna lie, the Ice Shark is doing a lot of carry work. It just is 600 damage right there. And then with this next wave, another, 1.1k damage. Sheesh. Uh-oh, here's where things get sketchy, though. A round where there's not much build-up. The balloons come in immediately, and we just get hit by, well, that line of fortified mobs that got pretty far. And I would say for these more forward Spike Factories, normal might put them too far to the entrance, so I'll do close on these ones. I'd say normal is still fine on these, because I don't want them on the very, very back, otherwise I think the Embrittlement will time out by the time some balloons get there. Now my question is, how many of these Deadly Spikes do we need to mimic the power of a perma-spike, which I believe is basically 500 damage every spike that perma-spike drops, although it shoots at a much slower rate than the Deadly Spike, of course. In that case, I'm not going to crunch the numbers, but we've definitely reached the cost of the perma-spike so far. Since it's 32.4, like 5 or 6 of them would equal the cost of 1 perma-spike. I guess it remains to be seen. So once I finish this 7th Deadly Spike with some buffs too, so another tier 4 out buff, I'll probably focus on more supporting towers, because, you know, you can't just keep spamming damage. The key to beating BT6, anything in BT6, is balancing. Balancing the amount of support you have with the DPS you have, so that your DPS options have more time to be able to, well, push out DPS. So maybe once around 80, 81 hits, we'll get like a glue up here, and we'll upgrade this to a more press. Also, close would be too far forward, so I'm gonna put this one on smart instead. And maybe I should entertain the idea of 2 emburniments, just in case one isn't shooting fast enough, but I'll leave it at 1 for now. Maybe after this actually a glue storm. At this point, I'm not too worried about the dense balloons. So let's not wait around too long anymore. I just got a mob glue up, and I think this is one of the few times where I think I'll actually pass on Relentless, because what this does is it stuns nearby balloons, but the problem here is that the balloons aren't going to be popping until they hit the spike factory pile. Which at that point, would the stun really do much? Because it would, I don't know, it's already pretty close near the exit. All I'm saying is that I don't think the 3k is worth it this time. Here's the ZMG. Easy peasy still. Let's just get our more press. And oh yeah, there's one more tower I want to get along with this. Nice, I can fit one more tower here. And that would be a middle path. I think Concoction is massive with this strategy because it just does more damage whenever a blimp explodes. So that really helps Spike Factory Pile, basically relieving the density of the wave. Don't think I can afford it this round, but that's alright because this will, I think, stall and do enough damage that we'll have a good amount of time to build some spikes here. Oh, got it now. And there we go. You can see the explosions. Landed it there too. And that should add a nice couple hundred to help preserve some spikes. Very unorthodox, but fun strategy, isn't it now? Although I think maybe the concoction is sometimes popping BFBs too quickly, because then it stalls less. But, oh, this is good. This was not even intended. But we got Emburniment doing a pretty long stall there. I'm at a bit of a crossroads here right now as for what's next. Should I do a Call to Arms, or should I do a Glue Storm? Because I think I can only afford one of the two at the moment. I'd say Call to Arms actually gets you more damage, because again, 1.5 times tank speed and pierce. Spike Factory benefits from both, 2.25 times. But at the same time, more attack speed would mean the outbuff runs out, so it's not truly 2.25. I think I'll just do the Glue Storm. It's more safe, I guess, because that's full uptime. 10 rounds left, and not a single round has been close, really. So that's a good sign. And now for round 91 here, we have now refreshed, or rather, the Sharpening Stones will last the rest of the game, so absolutely, without hesitation, use all of them. I guess I'll use the... Actually, no, there's no point using this, because the Emburniment already decamo the DTs for us, although I guess it would be good for, I'd say, Glue. 1 for range, and 2 so that it could affect DDTs, because it's missing camo up here. I think that's what I'll do, and just to look at this 031 here, just racking up the pops. 143,000 with an extra couple more thousand at the end of this round. There's Glue Storm. Also, make sure when does Draw Those shop get refreshed in $68. So we'll get another 3 Sharpening Stones after this to, well, get even more pierce on our spikes. And I'll probably get one more refresh after, so all 7 of them will get the +2 pierce. Not gonna lie, tough call if I want to stop at the 7 deadly spikes or if I should just keep building more. What did I want to spend on next with the 7k? Well, first off, again, +3 Sharpening Stones. 1, 2, and 3. Alright, first off, how much money do I get at the end of this round? And can I actually beat the 6 UMGs, I believe, that come out of this round? Yup, still doesn't look all that close. Oh, actually, no, that's pretty close. Because remember, all these are normal, meaning there's no, like, built up spike pile at the back. I think if I do want to go for Called Arms, though, I could afford it on, like, round 98. It would just mean I have to try to beat 96 with this defense. It's not looking likely right now, though. Especially since those DTs are getting so close to leaking, yeah. That ain't gonna work. Again, this is fine. We have 19k. I don't think I should go for a Called Arms at this point, though. Let's build more. Well, getting an 8th Deadly Spike and a tier 4 outbuff basically took me all of my 16k away, so... well, let's see if that makes a difference now, with the lack of, the build-up spikes from the previous round up now. So that could be scary if the extra Deadly Spike doesn't make up the, Deadly Spikes I lost in the middle of the round, and it doesn't. This is bad. Okay, I just realized I forgot to buy Glue Splatter, so maybe that helps a little bit. Let's see now. Now the balloons are slowed down just a wee bit. And I think that does it, come on. One left. No, the cerams got through. Alright, you know what? I hate to do it, but I think we just have to bail ourselves out with some Geraldo items. So maybe a Blade Trap for the Moabs, because that was what was killing us. I can probably only afford to buy one of them, though. And when would I use it? Probably, sure, now. While the Gluestorm's still active. Just so we get, I don't know how much damage that was, but that's gonna be enough to make a difference, right? Yeah. Blade Trap is actually a good combo, because it pierces through a lot. So, good call there. I also got a second concoction, because I don't think two of them are really, getting the job done. Whatever the case is, I always gotta try to save myself on the first run. Otherwise, the subsequent runs are gonna just keep getting worse and worse and worse. So, I'm hovering this Blade Trap, Gluestorm, and I'll use it if I have to. Ideally not, though, so I can save some money. And some for 98. Looks good, though. Yeah, 95 was just too fast. And I would just personally say hang on to the cash at this point for Geraldo items. Also, creepy idols are going to be huge. To basically be like a pseudo knockback, so we don't even have to buy like a downdraft or anything. That'll help save just a little bit, or at least stall, buy some time. And I guess we just blast off 98. I'm just looking again, and I'm seeing a lot of towers still don't have a permanent mixture dip on them. So I guess for the remaining space, more 220s. Hell, even do a non-discounted one over here, because these ones don't reach. I'd say this should be good. And now we watch and see how much of this can tank. 300k pops on this concoction here, which outdoes more than any singular Deadly Spike is done, obviously. What can I say though, concoction is so good. I should probably bind some hotkeys for the Maelstrom, so I don't have to keep hovering over the Geraldo menu, but this is okay. I'm watching the fortified BFBs and they're just fine. But the problem is that, oh god, that popped quickly. I will definitely Maelstrom if I have to. And I think I will, yep. Those were leaking, without a doubt. And this is going to leave me with barely enough spikes for 99. The creep battle's only stalled like 5 seconds there. I think it's pretty likely I'll have to use another Maelstrom, at least for the mobs here. Let's not beat around the bush. Sure, just want to guarantee victory there, and this should do it, right? Nice, and now we just gotta see if this is enough to beat around 100. I think I'm okay with restarting this round because I can just buy a Spike Storm to recuperate the lost damage. But here we go. Gluestorm now. And let's see if this at least breaks down the bad layer. Oh yeah, easily. Very quickly. What else? More press. Quickly. I'm trying to see if I can not use anything else here. But nope, definitely a Maelstrom. But is that it? I think so. And there it is. A funny little Deadly Spike showcase, also featuring concoction. Is it viable? Probably a little bit. Do I recommend it? Absolutely not. Personally, I'd say the only reason you should run this is if you, for some reason, can't save the 32k for perma-spike. Otherwise, forget about it. Anyways, hope that was fun to watch. If you want to watch more things, then go ahead and click here. Otherwise, I'll catch you on the next one.